Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the This Is the Music Meets Podcast, an independent podcast show that's dedicated to introducing you to rising indie and alternative artists from across the UK and Ireland. If you are new to the podcast, then please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any brand new episodes, and feel free to leave a comment as it really will help us beat the algorithms. It's now time for episode 128, and I'm delighted to be joined by rising solo artist and former The Racket frontman Callum, and we're going to discuss his new single Better Days, plans for 2025, and his favourite Christmas song of all time. Callum, welcome along to This Is the Music Meets podcast. Thanks very much for joining me. How you doing?
I'm doing really great. Thank you very much. I've just put an awful attempt at a Christmas tree up behind me. It was in the back room, and I thought, should I drag it in there for the video? That's what I could have done. But
Boy,
I didn't know we were talking about Christmas songs, so that times it ties in really well, doesn't it?
it does, yeah. It was it's obviously, but probably by the time this podcast comes out, it'll
Yeah.
be, because for me, I don't know about you, but everyone obviously you've still the supermarkets right from about August, and they're like
Yeah.
Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. But for me, it doesn't start till like about the 1st of December. But I've
No, it is. My girlfriend just wants to. She'd do it in 1st of January and carry it on all year round. So I've had to just let her do it now, basically.
yeah, really thinking about it, as I was saying, it's gonna.
Yeah.
We're recording this on a Tuesday, so say it's going to come out on a Sunday. And really, I should have been a bit more prepared, like yourself, really, and had something in the background.
Yeah.
I've let myself down. Maybe I'll edit it in or something at the end.
Did you say you're on episode 128?
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Yeah,
massive, isn't it?
128. Yeah.
So that's how I don't even know how many hours of talking to people. It's crazy, isn't it? My mate just started a podcast and he said to me, "Do you know 90% of podcasts don't get past episode 20? Because everyone
Yeah.
has this great idea of doing a podcast and then they run out of things to talk about and people to get on. But you've smashed it. This get 100 odds now.
Oh,
But
cheers. Oh,
yeah,
cheers, mate. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Yeah, to be fair, when I sort of first started This Is the Music, it didn't, well, to be fair, it was just going to be like music memorabilia, just sort of a few gig photos and
yeah,
gig tickets and stuff like that. And then I just sort of got asked randomly out of the blue one day to do a podcast. And yeah, here we are,
yeah.
128 episodes later. So yeah, people are still listening, and I think it seems to be going okay. So that's the most important thing, right?
Yeah, no, you're doing something really good because you're giving. You know what I mean? You're not asking people to buy this and watch this. It's just you're giving bands a platform. It's just really something brilliant to do. So thank you very much for this today as well.
No, not a problem at all. It's great to have you on, and obviously there's quite a lot to sort of cover to sort of find out where you are
Yeah,
at the minute musically. But let's go right back to sort of like the very beginning.
all right.
What are your earliest like musical memories, and are those sort of maybe those bands and artists maybe that you sort of first listened to, are they still sort of shaping you now as an artist?
Yeah, I think well, my mum and dad didn't really listen to music. Well, they did, but when I say that, they just had the radio on. So kind of early 2000s. So whatever was on the radio then, probably loads of Robbie Williams and stuff like that. Uh, that's just always drilled into me. I know every word for all them songs. Um, but I think being the youngest brother, and you're always just, I don't know if you've got a brother or anything, but when you're a kid, you just copy your brother. You want every foot, you want whatever footy kit he's got. You want his CD, you want it all.
Yeah,
And I think when he was like 14 or something, the Arctic Monkeys come out, the first album, and I was instantly just getting that.
yeah,
So that was my first like opening awakening to music, and straight away the same year Oasis done a best of Stop the Clocks,
yeah.
2006 I think that was. um and yeah, that was the first CD I got, and it's just constantly since then just growing of me collection of starting off with indie, and it's just gone, yeah. And then when you're older you make your own music and have gone back to my roots of what I'm into. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And what about then, like your first gig that you ever went to as a punter? Can you remember who that
That's the
was?
Monkeys, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Suck It in Sea Tour. I was just old enough to go and watch him. I was about 14 or something.
Yeah.
Uh, and they played. It was the day that Lou Reed died,
Oh,
and
wow. Right.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
and they done a cover of Walk on the Wild Side, and it's that good.
Nice.
The Vaccine supported, and they just released their first album as well. It was a brilliant gig, yeah, it's class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, the Suck It and See album, that's the one that's sort of like the beigey cover, isn't
yeah,
it? Right.
it's
Yeah.
just white, isn't it? Like the white
Yeah,
album.
that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's good. Yeah, and he come out with his Elvis quiff, and I think it was like the second gig of the tour, so no one even expected it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's like Alex Turner. Look at him, he's got gel on his hair. And, yeah,
And that yeah, that Vaccine's debut album, that was
class in it.
brilliant. That was, yeah.
I'm not a huge fan, but I do really like that album.
Yeah.
And I think still today bands still sound like that.
Yeah.
And they've kept that sound as well, I think. I don't think they've massively moved on from it, but it's a good sound to keep hold of.
Yeah.
It's like a bit of surf rock, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
indie surf. It's got all that echoey stuff going on.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah. I think that's what makes it sort of quite unique as well. If you think like what else was, around at that sort of time, it was,
Yeah.
you
But
know,
there's like Two Door Cinema Club, which is the opposite. It was like
yeah,
super tight, like yeah, and this was like spacious and big.
yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I think that's always a good thing to have actually, to be able as an artist, not just to follow the
Yeah.
same path that everyone else is and sort of, veer off um, you know, off into your own direction, right? Because it's otherwise
Yeah.
it's if we all did the same, it'd be boring.
Yeah, well, I think everyone's got different like when you're on about like music upbringings. When like I'd show me mum and dad, I was listening to like Oasis and Arctic Monkeys. They're going, "What's this rubbish? I'll show you something good." And then they took me into like Matthew Street to see like a Beatles tribute in the Cavern
Yeah,
Club, and then that was like me in the '60s going, "Wow, that's cool!" Like that was me first like awakening to that kind of thing, and
yeah,
that was like a really big one for me. Like I've always loved the Beatles. It's something I kind of everyone has grew up with in the house or on the radio or something. But um, yeah, going to see that just like a little someone on an acoustic guitar playing these songs, and yeah, I love that. And I feel like I've I've started doing it myself a bit where because I think it's really got a cool charm to the '60s sound. It's nothing like anything else. And I touched on it a bit in my first single. I've done it a little bit more on the second one, and I'm just ready to just go in the plunge in it and just like forget all this new music. I'm doing that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
and yeah, and I think like if you're doing something like that, it's always also good to bring your own thing into it. Like obviously, I've grew up with like post Britpop or indie rock, whatever you want to call it. But I also love like the garage rock music and stuff like that. Even like some hip hop stuff in the '90s. I love some of that stuff. So it's just like as long as you're being original to yourself and bringing what you grew up with and what you love and making it into like one big pie of whatever you is, that is. I think that's how to be. Try and be original anyway.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's the thing. It is difficult to try and keep that going, but I think, as you say, if you can, then and then that's the best route to sort of go down. And as you say, you are going to be influenced, whatever it
yeah,
is in your record collection as well. Do you know?
yeah. Well, I think you touched on it before. I was in a band before this, and I did feel like I'd fell into a trap of just being indie and a bit punky and just not exploring the sound very much. And we got quite a decent fan base, and you I don't know, you kind of start making music for them and not yourself. And I don't know, it got a bit stale, and I don't know, they started getting quiet, and I was like, no, I'm not. I'm too much into this, and I love music too much to just watch this fade away. So I'm gonna end it now. I'm gonna do my own thing, and that's why I'm doing all this.
Yeah, yeah, sure. You're saying that there about maybe you thought that the racket had maybe gone a little bit stale. That actually reminds me of a sort of a quote that Noel Gallagher come out with about Oasis, and obviously there's many reasons why they obviously split up, but
Yeah,
I think just going, we're effectively just trying to write
just
stadium rock every single
every,
album, and it's not,
yeah.
getting a bit, to use what getting a bit stale, and obviously
You can tell Oasis, but the only thing that was really changing was the producer. Go
yeah,
like getting Dave Sardy and stuff like that. Like he brought like a bit of an American sound to it with Dig Out Soul and the one before it. What's that? Don't
don't
believe.
believe yeah,
Yeah. Because they were doing it in like California or something with him.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and yeah, but he's bang on. Like they were just making the same sound again. And but it's a good sound to recreate, but it's not good for yourself when you're making music for somebody else, and you kind of forget what you're really in it for and what you love about music,
hmm
making it for somebody else.
yeah,
Uh, yeah, so I'm just trying to find my own path of what exactly I want to do. I'm gonna release as much and often as I can, which is can become expensive. So it also means I'm probably gonna have to self-produce as well. Got a little microphone and stuff now. Got a little studio, got a thing going on. So I think that's the avenue I'm gonna take, and just keep going for it, and just being me, doing what I want to do, and yeah,
yeah, yeah, wicked. Well, look, certainly sounds like it's going to be exciting. But just before we sort of dive in, a little bit more into the solo stuff, I just want to just go back a little bit to the Racket. Obviously,
yeah,
those maybe that don't know, obviously that was you was the front man, singer, songwriter, of the Racket, as I say. You obviously achieved some pretty, pretty big things together. In that
yeah,
period, it was about 4 or 5 years, I think, that from the first single up until
yeah,
it was about 2017 up until 2022.
yeah,
So there's sort of like any particular sort of, maybe highlights or moments that sort of like really stand out for you from that period?
yeah. There's lot. We done this tour. We toured with the Lottery Winners. That was a really big one. We got to play the Ritz in Manchester, and
Nice.
they were at a good level as well, where like every gig was like between 800 to like 1,000 cap, and they're all sold out. So played some good crowds there, and we met some really good people who've always stuck by me, and even like to this day send me happy birthday messages and things like that. They're just
Nice.
great fans that the Lottery Winners have got. Um, but yeah, our thing was probably gigging it more than studio in it kind of thing. We were always out on the road and stuff, and we must have done hundreds of gigs. Because we were a proper live band. It weren't about the studio, and
Yeah.
we could never really get the sound. I remember we went to the Motor Museum because it was where all my favorite bands had recorded. And I still felt like, and it was like a studio that had all the best gear, the best desk. It probably the best studio in the Northwest. And I still don't think we got the sound of what we made when we were playing live. And
Right. Okay.
it's just yeah. I feel like we were very much a live band. We played some boss gigs and some funny stuff too. Remember? Do you ever remember a guy called Louis Berry? Um,
Yes. Yes.
he,
I absolutely love him, man. He's
Yeah,
great.
he was boss. We went on tour with him, and we went on tour like 3 times with him actually. And with this particular one, and we were in the Lead Mill in Sheffield. It was,
Nice. Yeah.
um, and like, just one of them stupid nights of just everything happens. Um, I think, and I'm trying to because the whole thing blurs, but there was like fighting going on and all stuff like this. And then I remember the hotel we had. I got rugby tackled through the window, like. We were like stories up, but there was a ledge on it, and I fell onto the ledge and stuff. And I thought I was gonna go right out, and yeah, it was just a mad time. And we went out after it went to another club, can't remember what it was called, and we went in, and Big Shaq come out. Remember him? He was
Yeah.
like a
What?
rapper. He was doing his music video for that song he had.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
what was it called? That one, Man's Not Hot. And
I think. Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
in the video somewhere, we're in the crowd. And we were coming back from that, and we seen like a brick on the floor, and we're like, oh, good idea. What we'll do is we'll get the brick and we'll put it on the floor in our room, So, and we'll go down to the reception and go, someone's threw a brick in our room. God, what are we going to do? We need money back and try to get out. Not even happy. We got kicked out. We had to sleep in Colby's car outside.
Oh no.
But yeah, that's loads of stupid stuff happened all the time like that. It's just funny.
Wow, brilliant. I have to go back and check that video out now and see if I can see you in it.
Yeah, I think we are somewhere. It's like in a crowd, and like he
Yeah,
had
yeah.
someone telling us what to do, and we are just going along with it. It's a stupid night, yeah. Loads of funny stuff, man. Yeah,
Yeah, wicked man. Sounds like a right riot that you
yeah,
had and a proper load of belly full of laughs as well. But
yeah. We always try to get people on the stage and stuff too. You know, as much of that stuff going on, the crowd interaction, jumping in there and doing all that. I can't see myself doing that with the music I'm making, but I don't know. I'll have to try and do it at some point.
yeah, no, it's a quite sort of like Libertines inspired then in many ways with what they used to do with a lot of their
Yeah,
early shows, then getting them like fans up on the stage or
yeah.
diving into the crowd then, yeah.
We were quite. I always felt we were like a bit punk in a way, but not like there'll be punk rockers going, "You weren't punk, you don't know what punk means." But
Like with
we
the
used to have
attitude
that.
and stuff.
Yeah, it's more the attitude and just being young and careless and saying what you want in a song and saying it twice as hard live.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about with us, I think. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately never got to see a live show, but love the the stuff that you released and that, and obviously it's
oh,
still
nice
out
one.
there as well on Spotify for people to go and listen to. But obviously you went solo obviously earlier on this year. So you sort of did touch on it a little bit earlier, what was kind of like the thinking then behind that decision? Is it just because that music, is that means that much to you that it just thought, yeah, do you know what? I want to keep making music. This is what I want to do.
Yeah, well, I kind of touched on it. Really. I felt like it was getting stale, and I really wanted to just be a bit more songwritery because that's what I'm into and what I listen to, and not just release indie music all the time. And I feel like now it's just called me, and it's just my name, and I can brand it however I want. If I want to take it in this direction, I can go that way, and it's
Yeah,
a bit more liberating like that. You feel a lot more comfortable and happier doing it, and just be more creative as well. Um, I can remember I'd write songs in the Racket and bring them to the table, and I don't know, I'd kind of have to compromise ideas with like bandmates that I didn't really like the idea of and things like, just
yeah,
stuff like band politics. And we're all best mates now, but I can just be completely, I can make every decision myself now and just go full ride with it. That's what I
yeah,
love most, yeah.
yeah.
And
Sure.
down to, yeah, the production, down to the video, what I'm doing in the song, it's just, yeah, just purely me.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite like that.
Sometimes that. Yeah. So then, did that obviously with the two singles that you've put out so far, obviously "Soul Down the River," and then "Better Days," which was about 2-3 weeks ago. Roughly, the links to
Yeah,
your Spotify page are going to be in the episode bio. So for everyone listening, once you've finished the podcast,
go and have a
yeah,
listen.
do go and check them out
Yeah.
for us. So how then did you find that creative process then? Because it from writing those songs compared to what you were saying about the Racket, because it sounds like it was quite a sort of trying to think of the right wording, sort of quite a smoother process maybe than what you
Yeah.
experienced, previously.
I've always ever wrote songs exact same way, just on an acoustic guitar, or maybe sometimes I'm not the best on the piano, but I do sometimes go there because of that reason, because I don't really know what I'm doing. Sometimes little ideas slip out, but
Yeah,
it's always ever just been me on an instrument. I struggle writing with people, especially lyrics. I have to be on my own for it. So the creative process, I don't think that ever changed. It's I felt like I had a backlog of songs that were clearly like good, and I felt like a strong connection to them and kept going back to them. But I felt like as well that I was never going to do it in that band. So I was like inevitable, but I was always ever going to do this. Like the song we just released, Better Days. I don't think the Racket would have done that one very well. The other one, Soul Down the River, we might have done it, but we probably made it twice as fast and have loads of drums going on and things like that, and it wouldn't have been the same. Um, yeah, it's opened avenues for me, I think, doing it on my own.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess as well that means maybe sort of experimenting, like maybe a little bit more with your sound, like synths maybe, being put
Yeah,
in, or different beats and whatever. Does that sort of like quite excite you potentially being able to sort of do that at a
yeah.
later date?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't ever dream of putting a synth or anything like that into like a Racket song or just because it weren't about that. But
Mm.
and I don't know when I say like synth, I'm not. It's not like electronic at all. It's more like organs and like
Yeah,
electric pianos and stuff like that, or like maybe just some weird sounds I want to get in. Yeah, I enjoy putting all that together. Because I work like in music and production too, so yeah, I'm getting good at it as well, like to do it. So I think my next probably step is to go and produce myself. I'd maybe still use a studio to record drums because you never get the same sound doing it just like off the computer, like MIDI
yeah.
drums and stuff. But it is a thought I have really had of going maybe recording like get a drummer to record two, three songs and then go away myself and record the best. Just
Hmm.
so I can be completely free with it and do whatever I want, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, I think the danger of it though is never stopping because you can just twiddle with it forever, can't you? And especially now, you can just change guitar settings forever or redo the vocals wherever you want. Sometimes capturing the moment in the day is the best thing to do, but yeah, I can't afford to go to the studio all the time. Probably like most bands.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I know exactly how you feel with the studio. Well, I can't play, well, I can play an instrument, not up to that level, but
Oh,
certainly understand what you're saying in relation to the costs and all of that. It's really crazy. How much things have spiraled out of control, and
yeah.
obviously, as we know, there's not that much money, if anything, in streaming at the minute. Have you ever thought about maybe in the future, like looking at like vinyl? Really, I know again it's probably
Yeah,
a cost, but would that be an avenue you'd might think about in the future as well?
definitely. Someone asked me not long ago, like, what's like my biggest like dream of what's it worth to get, and I think if I could like make it realistic, I'd love to hold an album of mine, like a full like LP on vinyl. Like that's a big dream of mine, and I'd also love to play Glastonbury. Just a special place for me. I love it. Just to go all the time. But yeah, vinyl definitely. Um, what were we talking about then to get onto vinyl? 'Cause I feel like I had something to say. Can't remember.
Just, no, I was just sort of saying about the
There's
like the
no money.
Spotify streams and
Yeah.
stuff like that. No
It,
money.
when you say no, I mean literally zero. I think I checked I logged into like the distribution account the other day and it was like 17 quid or something like that. And it's like, I mean, it's £17, but it's nothing when you on what's it called, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, and you're getting thousands of views and streams and everything, and that's what it comes to. It's not even enough. Like some people get paid more than that an hour. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it's it it's poor, and it's like a really bad time for this. But on the contrary, a lot of people are doing the thing what you're saying of just releasing, do it themselves, pressing their own vinyls like getting their own fan base, not relying on algorithms and stuff, relying on themselves for it, going out there, meeting people, getting word of mouth, which is difficult to do. Um, there's a lot of things you got to get in place to do it, but I think I'm going to get there.
yeah,
Confident in the music. Um, it's just the whole of the business side of things. Um, yeah, and I know like friends and stuff who've been signed by big labels, and they kind of want the finished product like on arrival now as well.
yeah,
They don't want to take a risk on a band, or like, invest big money into something that might not work. Um, it's such a shame as well. Um, I think I used this example not long ago of you know. if you went back to the 90s and it was like this, there'd be so many bands that wouldn't have come through because like imagine if like Radiohead had to make TikToks, like it wouldn't have happened. Do you know what I mean? Like he's too weird for it. Imagine him trying to like commercialize OK Computer. It definitely wouldn't have happened. And are we missing out on something amazing that's out there that can't be done because we're in this world now and like industries don't want to back them and they aren't media savvy to accumulate this fan base and
Mm,
it's just a bit of a sad time. Uh,
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I like that. I, sort of thought there of Radiohead because I think you're probably right. I don't think they would have, they'd be still sitting in the studio
yeah,
somewhere with that song, never ever to have gone
no,
out there. And I think sort of, looking at the sort of, the sort of DIY indie scene, whatever word you want to sort of, label it with. There's a lot of bands that I think that are in that position
yeah,
really that you've just mentioned there, which is a real shame. Can't get on the festival bills, and they probably should be on there. But
yeah, they're good enough. Yeah, like a lot better than the 50 new names you see at the bottom of the festival every year, and you never see them again because labels are just done with them. And
yeah, no,
yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. So as I said earlier on, we're recording this podcast on a Tuesday evening, and just sort of about an hour and a bit. You released the music video
yeah,
for Better Days. It's obviously got a little bit of a sort of 90s, early noughties, sort of like nostalgic,
yeah.
sort of like vibe about it. It's a brilliant video. I've really enjoyed watching it earlier on
Nice
this
one.
evening. So yeah, where did you record it? And what was sort of like the thinking behind the video?
It's filmed in Tywyn, which is in North Wales. It's probably the closest seaside town to where I live. I'm from Widnes.
Yeah.
My immediate like decision for that was the organ at the start of the song. It's like purely like Phoenix Nights, or just seaside town kind of thing. And with it being like quite nostalgic, the song and the words and in the music, I wanted to just go back to like childhood stuff where like my mum and dad would take me to Blackpool and Southport and places like that. But we decided on there because it is an absolute time capsule. If you ever go to Tallinn, it hasn't been updated since 1987 or so. It's the exact same. Even the machines, the same stuff. Um, I think the newest looking machine had like Willy Wonka stuff in there, and I remember that Johnny Depp film coming out in like 2003 or something. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's where it's been left in time, which is like perfect for what I wanted. That's just like me as like a 6-year old running around. But yeah, yeah, we filmed it on phones as well. It's all on an iPhone, and we had the cameras in the car. We had like Bev's got a good camera. It was
Yeah.
just a last minute decision to go, hang on, we don't want it to look big and fancy and we want it to look homemade. So that was the decision on that. We were just like, yeah, let's just do it on phones. Make it look like me and my mates have filmed it. I think we've got that across. Everyone commented like, well, I've been getting text doing the edit, to be honest, everyone text.
Turn
Where's
it
the
off.
video?
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's good. It was literally what you see. There was like very minimal planning. We went in the morning, probably like 9, 10 o'clock, and we filmed like anything you see me singing. Just because I didn't want to do that in front of my mates. And then we told them not to come at 12. We kind of brought a footy. Told them to bring the dogs because it makes you can't have a dog in there if you
yeah.
can.
Got to. Yeah.
And it was literally just a laugh. It's just like um, try and not even remember the cameras there. Let's just do what we do anyway. If a bunch of lads were going round there for a day, I'm not that's what we done. Just yeah, had a laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thought,
Yeah.
no,
And
yeah,
and did you quite enjoy like that sort of creative process of coming up like with the idea of the video and then actually doing it, or is it not, maybe
yeah.
not something that you really enjoy too much?
Um, I struggle with like video concepts. Um, I kind of need people around me to spark ideas. And then I'll take it too far. I'll start thinking of stupid things. They go, yeah, you do know that's literally impossible to film. You can't do that. But I can't remember the last one. We were gonna. It was the Soul Down the River one. We ended up just walking around Liverpool for that one. But I was gonna be in a bedroom writing this song, and then as the video comes out, like, it's gonna zoom out, and I'm in the back of a van, and it's gonna be like me getting out the van, putting my work stuff on, and walking after work. And I was like, we could do that, can't we? And everyone's like, no, not really. It's like we need to get a van towed by a car, so it's directly online with this car. The more they explain to it, it's like, yeah, we're not doing this, are we? Let's just go and walk around and film something.
Well, keep that video idea for
Oh,
another
yeah.
one, in a few years.
Yeah.
And sort of how then do you find like juggling the whole DIY, sort of self-promotion sort of thing whilst still having to try and write and then obviously record like new
Yeah.
music. How do you find it?
I think it's really hard. Yeah, I have found as well that I'm spending a lot of time making videos for something that will go out, get watched once or twice by people, and not by a lot of people as well. And then it's time I should be spending making music or
Mm.
recording and things like that. And I don't particularly like it, but I have to do it. Yeah, and you have to kind of plan it and make time for it because you've got to do it. It's the only way of getting your music in front of people, and you've got to remember why you're doing it.
Hmm.
I have to constantly remind myself that I'm not a video maker. I'm a musician. I'm trying to write songs. I'm trying to put my songs in front of people. So stop making stupid videos. Just make songs and just give it to them in the realest way I can. And I think that's the most organic thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, look, I agree with you on that because, the amount of bands that I've seen, they're in the kitchen making, I don't know, pasta dinner or whatever, whatever it
Yeah.
might be, and it's like this hasn't got anything to do.
No, no.
I'm
Yeah.
invested in you because you're an artist, you're a musician. I like what you do. I couldn't care less that you've made,
Yeah.
spag bowl or whatever it
No.
might be. It should be about the music, man.
I think the with like the being online and social media, I've quite enjoyed doing. I don't know if you've seen it. I do these like covers of songs, but I do it as they do come out in the 60s.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and I've done one. They done quite well. It was thingy. What's it called? Ah, Smells Like Teen Spirit. But
Right.
I done it like Blackbird by the Beatles. So it was literally like acoustic guitar, and I got to put a candle in the corner of the room, put a turtleneck on like that, and I got dead serious like Paul McCartney and done it. And I thought, because I enjoyed doing it, and it wasn't like a complex thing to make or anything. I just prop your phone up and do it. I
Hmm.
just thought, I don't know, it's something quite genuine, isn't it? And I think if I enjoy doing it, it comes across, and they're the ones that like do well. Um, it's when you have people doing like you said, like making, don't know, food and just making crap, gardening, going, listen to my new song. It's like, nah, asked about that. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, yeah, for me, it's making music, and I quite enjoy this little series I've got going on. Of yeah, I've seen some the other day of because they're quite quick to do as well. Like they don't take a massive amount of time, and I enjoy it, and it kind of ties into what I'm doing because I love the '60s music, and I'm trying to bring that sound to what I'm doing. So
Hmm. Hmm. Sure. Okay. So let's talk live music. You obviously already had a few solo shows
yeah,
under your belt. So when you're doing them, is it just you up on the stage, or have you got a band with you as
we've
well?
got the band now. Yeah, we sound
Yeah.
really good. There's three of us, and yeah, it's really good. It's quite raw, but I feel like the acoustic sound that you hear on the record is maybe not there as much because I like to make it a bit more exciting live.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's good. Again, we've gone back to the old band. That I've always had that. When I got my first student loan, I went and bought a Rickenbacker because everyone else was like going to like Magaluf and stuff, and I was like, I don't know, lads, all I want a Rickenbacker. I'll never be able to afford one of these again. But I never get a chance to use it in the band because it's a noisy guitar. I don't know if
Yeah.
you don't play, but it's a proper like the only bands that ever really use them are bands where it's one like the Jam Powell uses one. The Beatles used them, but they kind of done it in a really unique way where they kind of orchestrated the guitars around guitar parts.
Mhm.
But you don't often see like rock bands with Rickenbackers because they make so much noise. But because I'm the only guitarist there, I get to make as much noise as I want. So yeah,
Win-win.
yeah, it's good. But yeah, but it's a good sound what we've got. Um, I have got a gig coming up. It's on the 13th of December in the Jacaranda in Liverpool, which is a boss venue. It's a proper like old school underground cavern, echoey and stuff. You don't need to put reverb on your amp because it's too much in there anyway. It's that kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
It's a cool venue in there. It's like I have done a few. Because I've done some on my own too. I just immediately weren't enjoying it.
Mhm.
And like I said before, I need to remind myself of what I'm doing this for, so I can enjoy it. And if I'm not, yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to be the acoustic guitar player who gets up in the corner and everyone goes to the bar when he comes on. You want to be the band who's making noise and getting eyes on you.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Um, but the first few gigs actually on my own were like really good ones as well. I played with Reverend the Makers.
Right. Wow.
He's sounding, you know. Have you ever spoke to him, John McClure?
I've met him a couple of times at festivals on and off over the years, and he's a
Yeah,
great guy.
he's just got time for everyone.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
and it was at a house in where I'm from in Widnes, and someone won a competition, and there was like 100 people in this girls' class, probably more than 100 in this garden. Had a little setup there under a gazebo, and we made a little stage, and it was just a really good night. And we were talking to him for ages. I had like a few drinks and stuff with him, and he's just got all the time in the world for you. And I was with my brother and he went, I really like your songs. And he's asking me stuff about my lyrics and things like that. And then he said, have you got your phone on you? And I said, yeah. And then like swap numbers and stuff. He made me send me demos and stuff. It was just dead cool. And then he got my phone, give it to my brother, and he said, film this. Put his arm around me and went, this is Callum. He's going to be the next superstar. And like, he'd done all that off his own back and he thought of it and everything. I was just like, what a guy. Like it's just dead nice, that, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm like, yeah, sitting like jaw dropping. No, for to hear
It's
that he's
cool, isn't
doing
it?
that
He's
as
just
well. But
no one else would do that. And
no,
absolutely, I've met loads of people over the years. They haven't really got time for you, but he deserves everything he's getting in because he's up for Christmas #1 at the moment as well, isn't he?
yeah, I was about to say because obviously the video for it is brilliant, and obviously he's it's the Samaritans, isn't he? That he's
Yeah, he's
raising
doing
money
well.
for.
He's class, yeah. What a
Yeah,
guy.
a great song. Yeah.
I've done this other gig as well. It was meant to be the last Racket gig, and we're playing the main stage at Shine On Festival. Have you ever been to that?
I've not been. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I'd
Good.
love to go.
Yeah, really good. If you get a chance, go there. It's ages. I don't think anyone even lives in that side of the country. It's in where is it? It's
I think it's
like
Maidenhead, I think, isn't it? I think
yeah,
it's
Minehead, that's it. Yeah,
Minehead. That's yeah, yeah,
it's like past Bristol, past Somerset, just that way. Um, it was class, and I feel like that adds to it because it's just in the middle of nowhere in like an old Butlins thing. Um, but I opened the main stage that day. And it was good. I had a good crowd and stuff. But it was a funny story because the night before, so the guy who bought me was called James. He was the promoter. So we'll come in, unloaded stuff like that, and it's like I need to go and find James. I'm going to say hello to him, make sure he knows me, blah blah blah. And I went to like the backstage bit, and I'm going, "Hey, do you know what James is?" And he's like, "Yeah, put it down there, mate, not like that." And I go down there. I'm looking for James. Yeah, down there. And they're sending me everywhere. And I got to this room, and they went, "Yeah, they're in there." I was like, "There." James, the band James. Honestly, I walked in, I was like, I'm looking for James. And they're all like, oh, we've heard this one before, like that. It's like dead awkward. It's funny though. It's stupid. Funny
Oh,
like
that's
that.
brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, I had another good moment in that gig. Have you seen Only Fools and Horses?
Yeah, I absolutely love Only Fools and
God,
Horses.
right.
Love it.
So, do you know, can't think his name. it's the episode where Raquel and she's with this guy and they do a double act, and it's not the Great Ramondo, it's the and he's a singer and he does cry.
Yes. I can't think of his name, but I
Yeah,
know exactly the episode. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right. So I'm telling you, right, the Clone Roses finished that night off, but massive crowd, probably like thousands of people. Um, walked off the stage, and I was having a drink with him, and my mate he was with, because they're all from St Helens, and my mate he was with, he knows a couple of people who play for St Helens footy team, who they have like a partnership with.
Mhm.
But we're talking about the footy and that, and he's Ian Brown. He's got like the Stone Roses Brazil top on,
Yeah.
hat, wig, all. He's the full thing. He looks the part, and he's talking to me, and wig comes off, bucket hat comes off, top comes off. It's like jumper comes on instead. He's bald. He's puts his shoes on. They're not Adidas trainers. They're just like some boots he's got. He turned into that guy from Only Fools and Horses right in front of us with his laughing our head off.
Yeah, I remember that episode where you described he took
Yeah,
everything off
all the
just to
girls
look
in that
on there.
yeah, yeah, it's brilliant. Have you seen them though? Do you know what the Clone Roses?
I have. I'm trying. When I first saw him in Islington, it must have been
Yeah.
about 15, maybe 20 years ago. I think it
No
was a
way.
long. So I'm guessing because I haven't seen them since that the lineup has probably possibly changed. I don't know, but I
Oh,
thought they were
yeah.
great. And to be fair, at the time, I thought, oh, well, it's going to be the closest that you're ever going to get to seeing
Oh,
the
I,
Stone Roses
I,
because everything sounded
I
like
think,
spot
yeah,
on.
I think they might be better than Stone Roses.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, I seen. I mean, they're not better than the Stone Roses,
But
but I seen them in the Etihad a few years ago, and it's brilliant. It's with all my mates, class gig. But when you watch the Clone Roses, they've been touring for like 20 years. Obviously, like they haven't stopped touring, so
mm,
they're dead tight, and they've got the sound. They probably sound more like the album than the Roses do, because John Squire's got new guitars, new pedals, amps, stuff like that. It's a different sound now, but they've got that. If you want to go and see the Stone Roses and you're into that, go and watch them because it's the closest you're going to get to it. They're brilliant.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Okay, right. It's yeah, quite. I guess because if they've got the sort of more of the original equipment as well, I guess then
yeah, yeah.
and we all know that Squire that loves to sort of go off into some other
The big
uncharted
solo.
territory. But
Yeah,
yeah, great guitarist can do whatever he wants, really, can't
yeah.
he? So on every This Is the Music Meets podcast, we ask all our guests sort of like a series of questions that are designed to be a little bit more sort of like light-hearted, and kind of like just help the listeners find out a little bit more about the people that we're obviously interviewing.
Yeah.
So the sort of the first question is, what artist on this sort of underground sort of new music scene have you been checking out in 2024?
Have you ever listened to a guy called Novelty Island?
No, not come across him. No.
Listen to him. He's really good. He's probably like kind of like me, like just loves the 60s, like
Yeah,
all like old instruments, mellotrons, all that stuff. Very
yeah.
Beatlesy. I really like that. And there's a girl who's from where I'm from, Witness, and she's just I think she might have been signed by a major because she's absolutely smashing it, and she's called Love Cat. She's really good.
Heard of
Uh,
her? Yeah.
yeah, she's really good. Yeah, I don't know. I don't listen to a lot of new music. I'll be absolutely honest. A load of new bands always come up, and I always listen to them. But I listen to just old stuff, to be honest.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
finding old records in shops and stuff, and listening to them in charity shop records. Yeah,
The the best way. Actually, that leads us on pretty nicely to the next question.
go on.
So you're allowed to see one final song from your favorite artist in your
Yeah,
favorite venue. Who are you
yeah.
choosing?
Um, oof. I mean, kind of pick the Beatles.
Yeah, you can pick whoever you want. Whoever you want.
Imagine watching the Beatles doing a day in the life at the Royal Albert Hall.
Yeah,
That'd be
nice.
immense. Yeah. Have you been there?
Royal Albert Hall, yeah,
Yeah,
the London one, yeah,
yeah.
not that, yeah,
The,
yeah.
the
I was
the proper London, yeah, it's
Yeah,
me, yeah,
yeah. I've seen like Noel Gallagher there quite a few times,
class.
and I was there. Was it probably about three weeks or so ago? Richard Ashcroft was playing there.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
just phenomenal. His voice as well. He still
yeah.
means it now. 20, 30 years, down the
It, it's
line, you can see,
it's the
man.
sound of that room as well, though. It just the acoustic because it's designed for like royalty, isn't it? It's where they did like
Yeah,
royal variety and stuff like that. But no matter where you sit in that room, it sounds unbelievable.
yeah.
Uh, I think one of my favorite gigs to watch live, if it, John, you go on YouTube and stuff like that. Led Zeppelin sorry, at Thingy, Royal Albert Hall, I think 69. Jimmy Page is wearing this like I think it's like a tank top jumper. It's fucking brilliant. Watch that. If you're into Led Zeppelin, it's the best gig they've done.
Is it
Yeah,
really? Oh, okay. I'll have to check them out. Oh, not them out,
yeah. That
that
gig.
gig out.
Yeah. I think it's part of a
Imagine
DVD
saying
they
that.
put out called The Song That Remained the Same. We used to have it when I was little. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
boss. But
different
memories.
class, different class.
Yeah.
So if you could only play one song from either the Racket or your solo material that you've put out so far,
Yeah.
rest of your musical career, but you had to play it in like a different style every time, so it could be, like country or jazz or
Right.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Which song would it be, and which sort of, musical style would you go for?
Um, I think of the songs I'm releasing now. Soul Down the River. It has actually had quite a few different lives.
Right.
Because it started off wrote as like an indie rock song,
Hmm.
turned it into like ska. Don't know why. Um, and then I kind of had the organ from that changed into this like being held and sustained. The guitar's done it instead, and it went a bit hip hop, and then it went too hip hop, and then it all kind of got pulled back together of being like bit ska, bit hip hop, bit northern soul, bit indie. Like, it was just a bit everything. But that one, because you can do so much with it. It's a simple song. It's only got a few chords.
Nice,
It's
nice. I like
nice. There's
that.
nice space to do things with the words and stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that one.
If you could collaborate with any artist, dead or alive,
Yeah.
who would it be?
I don't know, I really don't know. It'd be someone dead.
Yeah,
No one alive. I couldn't pick John Lennon because I think he'd be a bit of an arsehole. I don't know, imagine playing live on stage with Jimi Hendrix or someone. That'd be
yeah,
good, wouldn't
yeah.
it?
That'd be good.
The thing is with him, he only ever sounds like one thing. He sounds like Jimi Hendrix 100% of the time. He does, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
blues. Um, Yeah, I'd pick him today. Probably pick
yeah.
someone else tomorrow, but yeah, I
I'd
do
have,
do do
I would,
tune.
I would, I would. Sorry, I would have loved to have seen. Obviously, I wasn't born clearly. But Hendrix, when he did like the either the day after or a week
Oh,
after
the Sergeant Pepper, is that
come
what you're
out.
gonna
Yeah,
say?
yeah. Would have
Yeah.
loved to have been like in there and to have seen what that was like.
Have you seen the film and Andre 3000 does him?
No, I've not seen that.
Ah,
No.
watch it. I can't remember what the film's called. Just if you type in Jimi Hendrix films, it'll be the first one, and he plays him. It's brilliant. Yeah, really good. Plays him dead well as well, and he does that gig, and they're all there, all the Beatles watching. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, I'll have to. Okay, I'll check that out. So it's not just music recommendations we get
oh, the films
here
you
on
got
the
all sorts
podcast. We
of
get everything.
yeah.
So we're going to end the podcast with a couple of Christmas questions. By the time this
Nice.
episode comes out, it will be definitely will be the 1st of December. So
Yeah,
we're
1st December, Sunday, yeah.
yeah. So we'll be in the ballpark, right? That can work. So first one is what is your favorite Christmas song of all time?
Um, right, there's an album by Phil Spector, and it's called like Phil Spector's Christmas Gift, and like I can't, it's called something like that anyway. And there's some boss ones on there. There's like Sleigh Ride by the Ronettes, and all that kind of stuff, and I love that tune. But
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go absolute cliche here because my favorite one just definitely is Fairy Tale New York. Um,
Ah, classic.
Great tune. And I'd listen to that in the summer because I don't think it's that Christmassy of a song. It's just a brilliant tune.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
no, it's a great song, and yeah, it's a bit silly that I've obviously had to make them to change the words
Yeah.
to
No,
some of
it happened. It went, you know what I mean? It's a different time, isn't it? It's a good
them.
song.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, definitely. So I think based on what you just started off that last answer there with about Phil Spector and the Christmas album, I think I know the answer
Yeah.
to this next question.
Right.
If you're sticking with a Christmas album, that is, of course. If you could
Yeah.
gift an album to Santa, which one would it be?
I'm gifting him an album.
Yeah, any. We'll open it. I would say any album. It doesn't have to be a Christmas album necessarily, but any album.
I wouldn't give him that because he's heard well enough Christmas tunes, hasn't he? I don't know. I give him Revolver by the Beatles.
Nice, nice. Liking that. Great album.
Yeah.
Great album. Probably their best era for me
It
personally.
is that middle Rubber Soul with all the peppers. That's my. You could ask me tomorrow. I'd give Father Christmas Sergeant Pepper instead. But them three albums definitely that I did. My favorite part of music ever.
Love that. Yeah, yeah. What an era for them. So, would you rather eat 10 mince pies in one sitting
Yeah.
or play a Christmas gig in a Santa suit that's two sizes too small?
Oh, I did a Christmas one. I don't really like mince pies.
No?
No, go for the Christmas one. Yeah.
Nice,
I'd have
nice.
a few eggnog. I don't know. What's a Christmas drink? Have a few
Yeah,
Baileys.
I think eggnog or
Yeah,
mulled
yeah,
wine in it, they all
yeah.
like, yeah.
Mulled wine. Yeah, a few festive drinks to get me in the mood for it. Yeah.
Okay, and then which indie frontman or woman is most likely to start a mosh pit at Christmas dinner?
um, Mosh pit. Oh, what's his name? I went to see the Sex Pistols the other week. The Sex Pistols.
Oh,
It's the three of them with Frank Carter.
yeah, that's yeah, yeah.
And he's gonna cause a ruckus on Christmas Day. And he fucking pigs in blankets. Yeah, everywhere. Smashing sprouts on people's heads. Yeah, yeah. He started the mosh pit at the gig. Yeah, he was right in the crowd doing it all. Yeah,
Was he? Oh,
yeah,
brilliant, man. Yeah, I've not caught. I've seen a few things about it and that, but I'm not, yeah, not quite sure it's necessarily
yeah,
the
good.
same without. But hey, bit of
Yeah,
fun, right?
yeah,
So obviously we've spoken about some of the brilliant things, obviously that you've been up to, in 2024 so far. But
yeah.
what does 2025 look for you, Callum?
I'm gonna try and release as much music as I can. It'd be nice to do an EP of some sort. Um, I think my next single, I'm gonna do a song called "A Change Gonna Come." Quite cool. It's a little bit political, and it's got more of the sound that Soul Down the River had. Um,
Right.
it's got like a groove hip hop thing to it. It's not hip hop in the slightest, but it's got that beat to it.
Hmm.
Good bass line and stuff. Got a riff, a cool one. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna, yeah, like I said, I'm gonna release more, but explore more, just do different things. I don't want to be tied down to one thing. Yeah, I really want to show people what I can do with songwriting because I'm obsessed with it and I do it all the time. So that's my thing next year. So so far I've released two songs since August, my first one. So like in like 3 months, I've done two songs. So be nice to do maybe another four or five next year. Maybe do a headline show as well if I can pull enough people down. Yeah, that's what I want to do. It'd be nice to, like you said, might be jumping the gun, but put a vinyl out.
Yeah.
So get something onto that. Yeah,
No. Oh, brilliant. Well, look, it sounds really exciting. And looking forward to hearing the new tunes that you've got in the pipe work.
yeah.
Massive, massive fan of what you're doing.
Okay.
So yeah, keep going. But before I do let you go, um, can you just let the This Is the Music listeners know the social media platforms that they can find you on?
Yeah. Well, luckily, I'm called Callum Cod with two D's, and there's absolutely nobody in the world else called that. So as long as you type it anywhere, you'll only ever get me. Callum Cott, two Ds. If you're on TikTok, same thing. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. Yeah. Spotify's the main one though. Yeah. If you're on Spotify, is this podcast going out on Spotify?
It'll be on
Yeah.
Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We go everywhere. YouTube, yeah,
Class.
we're all over the place, mate. And look,
Yeah.
those links will be
Oh,
um
boss.
in the
Yeah.
episode bio, and as well the ticket link for the show on December the 13th at the Jack
Oh,
that you
nice one.
mentioned
Yeah.
earlier as well. So yeah, people go and buy the tickets.
Oh, class.
For that, I'm sure it's going to be great. But as I said earlier on, now that this podcast is pretty much finished, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, go and stream Callum's tunes over on Spotify because they are two brilliant tunes.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Callum, look, thanks very much for coming on. I've taken up a lot of your time this evening.
Don't worry. I've enjoyed
Thanks.
it. I've enjoyed it
Oh,
well. Yeah.
great to hear. Look, thanks for coming on, and I hope if you're coming down to London at some point, next year, then I'll be able to come
We'll
down and
meet
have a
up.
couple of
Yeah.
beers with you
Yeah, pal.
and come and experience your show for myself.
I was going to say I'll invite you to this gig, but it's about 6 hours away from you or something like that, isn't it? I'll do one closer to you.
Nice one, just for me.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
But yeah, thanks so much, and thanks for making me track of the day and doing all this stuff. Yeah, it really means a lot, and it goes really far. So thanks so much.
And all that leaves me to say is to thank everyone for tuning in to the latest This is the Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on any brand new episodes. And if you're loving the podcast, show us some love by leaving us a rating and written review, as it really does help us beat those algorithms. If you are listening to this episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, then stay tuned, because at the end of this episode, you'll be able to hear Better Days, the brilliant new single from Callum Cod. Remember, the future is bright, the future is indie, and I'll see you very, very soon for another This is the Music Meets podcast.